Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelor. Gerry Turner being painted as the villain proves the show doesn't care about its leads, they only care about ratings. The leading man of The Golden Bachelor, Gerry Turner, has endured harsh criticism for his time on and off the show. Gerry's reputation has suffered consequently. While many believed that Gerry was the season's villain, new insight reveals the malpractice behind the scenes. The Indiana native was never the problem. Producer inference was. Gerry debuted on The Golden Bachelor Season 1. As a widowed bachelor with earnest intentions of finding love, he seemed like a catch. When he shared his tragic romantic past, in which he lost his wife of 43 years, fans and contestants swooned. While all 22 contestants vied for his heart, there could only be one winner. Gerry chose Theresa Nist and got married in a televised ceremony months later. Their subsequent divorce and Gerry's apparent deceit left many villainizing the star. But Gerry is a victim of misrepresentation. Throughout his season, Gerry was presented as a perfect catch. He was a kind and respectful restaurateur who went into early retirement. Most notably, he had lost his late wife, Toni, 6 years ago. The pair had been together for 43 years, and her passing left Gerry reeling. He revealed to the audience that he couldn't date another woman after losing Toni. Gerry was regarded as the ideal partner. Nobody is perfect. However, seemingly flawless individuals make for good TV stars. The vulnerable and heartbreaking character that Gerry was presented as boosted ratings. An article by Cosmopolitan acknowledges the show's success by reporting. Fans were fascinated by the senior spin-off and Gerry's lovable persona. He would be highly regarded until an article by The Hollywood Reporter exposed his inaccurate portrayal. While Gerry maintained that he could not date after Toni's passing, reporters discovered he and another woman began dating just a month after the loss. This reflected poorly on Gerry for obvious reasons. Many pointed the blame at him, but the reality is producers heavily control appearance. The show undoubtedly encouraged minor fibs to ensure Gerry boosted ratings. Notably, in an interview with Justin Long on the Life is Short podcast, Gerry recounted the tedious process of applying for the show, saying, "The vetting process is ridiculously thorough. From STD tests to psychological evaluations, Gerry's entire history was investigated. Producers would have known everything about him. Still, they enabled and even encouraged his misrepresentation." As mentioned, Gerry's season was a hit. Ratings skyrocketed, and the show's viewership followed. Subsequently, when Gerry and Theresa committed to marriage, producers were quick to offer a televised ceremony. It would cover the staggering expenses of a wedding and even compensate the newlyweds. It was an offer they could not refuse. In return, the Bachelor franchise would air the ceremony and profit tremendously. The only catch: Gerry and Theresa would have to wait just over a month after the season finale. Unsurprisingly, they agreed. While they weren't prepared for the commitment, the offer was generous. This rushed marriage would cause the ultimate downfall of their relationship. Gerry and Theresa couldn't decide on alternative living arrangements or the sacrifices needed for marriage. Because of Gerry's damaged reputation, the divorce was entirely blamed on him. Gerry's reputation made him a target following the divorce. While the split was sudden and disappointing for fans, Gerry is not solely responsible. Both parties have been vocal about the reasoning behind the breakup. It seems neither Gerry nor Theresa were willing to move away from their families. Long-distance relationships can be difficult to maintain. They opted not to juggle their lives and responsibilities. The disagreements were rooted in relocation, but there is more to the story. In an interview with People, Gerry opened up about a life-changing diagnosis. This revelation would change his outlook on life and their relationship. Gerry was diagnosed with Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia, a bone marrow cancer. This slow-growing cancer is incurable. Gerry cited this diagnosis as a large factor in the split, as Gerry wanted more time with his family. In an interview on Good Morning America, in which the pair announced their split, Gerry stated. A life-altering health scare like this can heavily weigh on one's consciousness. The couple had bonded over the significance of family in their lives, and after this diagnosis, Gerry prioritized family over his new relationship. He is concerned about his time left with his family and may worry about the consequences of his deteriorating health in a new relationship. The Golden Bachelor has been a game-changer for reality TV, shining a spotlight on love stories that often go untold. Gerry Turner's journey as the franchise's first senior lead captivated audiences from the start. He's warm, charming, and relatable. A man who has lived, loved, and lost, only to embark on an adventure to find romance again in his golden years. But as the season progressed, something shifted. The once-beloved grandpa next door started to be painted as the villain. And if there's one thing Bachelor Nation knows too well, it's this: when the show's producers sense a storyline that will boost ratings, no one is safe, not even their leads. Gerry Turner, who began his journey as a beacon of hope for older singles, is now the subject of criticism and controversy. Whether it's through selective editing or strategic framing, the narrative has taken a turn. Suddenly, moments that once endeared him to viewers are being spun to make him appear indecisive, manipulative, or even selfish. But why? The answer lies in the franchise's unrelenting pursuit of drama and ratings, often at the expense of the people at the center of the story. From the outset, Gerry seemed like a perfect fit for the role. His touching backstory of losing his wife and his vulnerability in sharing that pain resonated deeply with viewers. Here was a man who'd experienced a lifetime of love, yet remained open to the possibility of starting anew. His tears weren't calculated, they were real. His nervous laughter and wide-eyed wonder felt genuine. And for a while, it seemed like The Golden Bachelor might be the rare reality show that focused on heartwarming connections rather than manufactured drama. But as the weeks went on, it became clear that even a show celebrating senior love wasn't immune to the machinations of reality TV. Gerry's indecision in choosing between the final contestants was no longer framed as the natural struggle of a man who cared deeply for multiple people. Instead, it became fodder for accusations of leading women on. When he expressed doubts or second-guessed himself, the show amplified those moments, creating an image of a man who was either playing the field or too weak to make tough choices. The shift in tone didn't happen by accident. Reality TV thrives on conflict, and while senior contestants bring a refreshing maturity and depth to the show, they also tend to handle disagreements with grace and dignity, qualities that don't exactly make for explosive television. So when the drama among contestants didn't reach the levels Bachelor Nation is used to, producers seemingly turned their focus to Gerry himself. It's a classic move in reality TV. When the cast won't deliver the fireworks, create them elsewhere. Take, for instance, the infamous hometown dates. Meeting the families of his potential partners should have been a touching and pivotal moment in Gerry's journey. Instead, it became a breeding ground for tension. Viewers saw edited clips that emphasized awkward silences, probing questions, and Gerry's apparent inability to provide clear answers about his intentions. The editing made it seem as though he was stringing everyone along, even though the reality of dating multiple people in this format is inherently messy. Another example is Gerry's heartfelt conversations with Theresa and Leslie, his final two contenders. Instead of showcasing the emotional weight of those moments, the show's producers highlighted every pause, every hesitation, and every conflicting statement. Suddenly, Gerry's heartfelt connections were reframed as a calculated game. The result: a man who began as a symbol of hope for finding love later in life was now being criticized for playing the very women he cared about. It's worth asking why the show would take this route, especially when Gerry's story seemed tailor-made for a feel-good narrative. The answer is simple: drama drives ratings. The Bachelor franchise has built an empire on cliffhangers, controversies, and jaw-dropping reveals. While The Golden Bachelor's premise initially promised a softer, more uplifting tone, it was only a matter of time before the show reverted to its old tricks. And, unfortunately for Gerry, he became the easiest target. This isn't the first time the franchise has thrown its lead under the bus. Many past bachelors and bachelorettes have spoken out about feeling manipulated or misrepresented. Ari Leyendig Jr. was vilified for changing his mind after the final rose. Peter Weber's indecisiveness became the centerpiece of his season. Even Claire Crawley, who was initially celebrated as a strong, independent lead, was later painted as difficult and unreasonable. The franchise's history makes it clear, no one is off-limits when it comes to creating drama. For Gerry, the stakes feel even higher. As the first Golden Bachelor, he's not just representing himself, but an entire generation.